Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome back to the southern wing of the Stink Bug Works. Today, the Bug Works is a charging station. What's that, you say? Dr. Jet is charging batteries? Why? Yes, boys and girls, it's early in the morning, and I'm charging up batteries because I plan to go to the pond and do the last test run on the T3 before it goes into the paint shop, and the first run on the Cobra 450 where the motor shouldn't conk out. So, we're going to head to the pond and do testing. But first, or we're going to go to the pond and do testing, but first. A question from one of my viewers. And one of my viewers asked me, on these little hydroplanes, why do I like to set the drive system off to one side? And he says, was that to counteract the drag of the turn fin? And the turn fin being here and the prop being here. It seems like a logical reason, but it goes beyond that. The turn fin really doesn't add that much drag to make the boat want to turn in a significant manner. Yes, it will a little bit to a small extent. I mean, if I had this in the friction-free world of physics experiments and gravity-free world, and I had a friction-free tank of water that was totally smooth and consistent, and I put this on there and I pushed it, yeah, there would be drag from there. But the real reason is right here. Imagine the propeller's halfway in the water. Imagine, if you would, this is the water, and the propeller's turning this way. Okay, the part of the propeller that's out of the water is only pushing on air, and air doesn't push very much. But the part that's in the water is pushing on the water. So what's happening is, as it pushes the water, it moves forward, all right, but if you look at the prop just as a stationary thing, the bottom side is always moving this direction, which wants to make the prop move in the opposite direction. That is called prop walk, because the portion of the blade that's in the water pushes against the water and makes the blade want to move that way. So that's prop walk. And that's real significant. And it only happens in surface piercing props. I shouldn't say that. In submerged props, it's there, but it's a whole totally different weirdness factor, and it's a factor of the angle of dangle and all that. So for all practical purposes, if you have a submerged prop walk is not an issue. If you have a surface piercing prop where half of it's running out of the water, the bottom half not only pushes you forward, but pulls it over to the side as well as the prop rotates. So by setting it off like this, the prop walk wants to move the boat this way, and pushing it at an angle or offset from center wants to push it that way. And the idea is you want these two forces to neutralize each other. And fortunately, they're somewhat, not entirely, but they're somewhat proportional to throttle. So the more throttle you put on, the more prop walk you have, but the more offset thrust you have to counteract it. So when it's set up right, it's just smooth and consistent. Your boat goes in a straight line. And that's the ultimate goal you're trying to reach. So there you are, boys and girls. I don't know what else to tell you this morning. We're gonna start building this thing as soon as the T3 goes into the paint shop. I have. I know what I did. I ordered a special tool, and it's not really that special of a tool. In fact, I'll tell you about it. I'll tell you about it right now. But I looked at it, I said, well, that's the perfect tool for this. When I was a kid, my dad was sharpening a chainsaw. And I looked at him and said, that's a weird file, because up until then, I'd only seen rat tail files. And rat tail files start at a narrow tip, and they get larger and larger and larger in diameter as you go along. A chainsaw file is a perfect cylinder. This end and everything in between are the exact same diameter. Now, here's the cool thing about chainsaw files. They come in all sizes. And one of the sizes they come in is 5/32 of an inch, or 4 millimeters. Why, look at here. This just happens to be 4 millimeters. So my plan is this. When I'm ready to drill the through hole, I'll drill the hole through here, and then taking my chainsaw sharpening file, which is nothing more than a brass tube with steel teeth on it, I'm going to take that in and use that for ovalizing this hole and making the through hole, see that 3 times fast, the through hole, in line with the shaft. So I get a good tight seal there. There's not a whole lot of material to fill in and such. So that's going to be, actually I've never done that before, but it sounds like a brilliant jet idea. So I'm going to attempt that and see how it goes. A chainsaw sharpening file can be had for a couple of dollars. I think they were $3 or $4, and they were U.S. stock, not shipped from China. So that's nice to know too. So chainsaw sharpening files, they're also available in other diameters as well. So 3/16 is available, 7/32 is available, 5/32 is available. What would the next one? The 3/16. I think 3/16 is available as well. So that is going to be a cool new tool added to the Stink Bug Works. We're going to use chainsaw sharpening files for cutting our prop shaft openings. We're going to cut our prop shaft openings off center because we're going to counteract prop walk. And so, come on, boys and girls, order up your stuff. We're going to have fun. We're going to be fast, cheap, and out of control. Until next time, boys and girls, or actually, until I get to the pond, jet out.